This video will show you how to dissect male and female reproductive tracts of the fruit fly Drosophila melanogaster. You will need phosphate buffered saline or PBS, a subbed slide, an insect pin in a pin vise, fine forceps, and a dissecting scope, also called a stereoscope. Flies can be lightly anesthetized with ether if sperm must remain motile. When making slides for sperm measurement, it is easier to spread sperm if they are still swimming. Females can be dissected after being frozen, but if you want to see sperm motility within the storage organs, it is necessary to anesthetize them with ether or carbon dioxide. To begin, place a drop of PBS on a subbed slide that has been treated with a gelatin solution. This allows the drop to be symmetrical and three-dimensional, providing some depth in which to dissect. If the PBS spreads out unevenly on the slide has not been sufficiently subbed, and you should use a different slide. When using fine forceps, it is extremely important to maintain awareness of where your hands and your forceps are at all times. You should move slowly and mindfully to avoid dropping the forceps, jabbing them into the stereoscope, or stabbing yourself. Fine forceps are very delicate, and mishandling them will ruin them. To begin with, you will practice with used forceps that have been resharpened. While sharpening helps maintain symmetry and alignment between the tines become wider and less accurate. As your skills improve, you may receive a pair of new forceps that are expected to last you a long time. Take the fly and place it to the side of the drop with your forceps. If you are right-handed, position the fly so its posterior is to your right. If you are left-handed, position it so the posterior is to your left. Perhaps the most challenging aspect of dissection for beginning fly workers is maneuvering a specimen under the stereoscope, so this step alone can take a lot of practice. For females, gently squeeze the abdomen until the ovipositor extrudes. Grasp the ovipositor and pull out the lower reproductive tract. You may also get the gut with it, in which case you should remove that. You may dissect females that contain an egg in the bursa. In this case, remove the lower part of the bursa and gently squeeze out the egg. The SR is located between the two spermathecae and will need to be unraveled to measure it. If you need the spermathecae intact, you may need to remove fat bodies covering the spermathecal caps. If you are only measuring the SR, you can remove the common oviduct and spermathecae, then gently unravel the SR with an insect pin. When dissecting males, you can grasp the end of the abdomen and pull out the reproductive tract, including testes and accessory glands. You can also grasp the cuticle in the middle of the abdomen with both forceps and pull them apart. You may need to remove unwanted material from the reproductive tract, including Malpighian tubules, seen here as yellow string-like structures, and other debris. Testes of wild-type flies are often yellow, but those of mutants may be white or clear and more difficult to identify. To make a sperm slide, separate the seminal vesicle from the rest of the testis. You may want to place it in a clean drop of PBS on a frosted slide that has been labeled with pencil. This drop can also be quite a bit larger than the original drop for dissection. Wait 10 seconds or so to allow the sperm to work their way out of the seminal vesicle. You will likely have ruptured it from handling, and sperm should be visible as a growing white cloud. Grasp the seminal vesicle and move it slowly and methodically through the middle of the droplet. You will see the sperm trail out behind the seminal vesicle like a comet. This means that sperm are being released into the droplet. Spread the sperm for 30 seconds or so. You can then either discard the seminal vesicle or leave it on the slide. When dissecting mutants that have many sperm, I will leave the seminal vesicle on the slide. The sperm slide is then allowed to dry completely before being fixed and stained.